mentioned like the reverse diet, there's also such thing as a recovery diet, which would be more appropriate for somebody that had a planned execution of getting into the debt with an understanding of how they were going to get out of it.
I'm going to get out of it fairly quickly.
Yeah, that's what we'll call a recovery diet, because they understand going in what they're going to have to do coming out versus the other people. And that probably happened over weeks to months versus the person that needs a reverse diet. This has been somebody that's been doing this for months to way more than it's like years. They're way deep into the hole. Yeah,
and I think that's how I interpreted what you were saying about like that 80-hour week. I don't know if that's what you were driving
at. That's exactly what I was looking at.
Yeah, that is more the recovery diet. Like I can do this very briefly because this was sort of a planned debt that I can make up fairly quickly. Whereas, someone who's, deep in the hole, it's going to be a more gradual process to get out of the hole. So trying to bring it all the way back. Okay, we're in this recovery diet, or rather this reverse diet process. What may happen during the reverse diet process? It's possible, but probably the least likely that you will lose body fat initially. So
that's what we want. That's the ultimate, right? That's exactly what we want. That's what everybody wants. I'm going to eat
more and lose body fat.
That sounds great. So that's the first thing that can happen. What else?
Which is, again, probably the least likely. A little more likely is that you gain some muscle mass at the same time as you're gaining some body fat as well. And then there's also the scenario where your body fat stays about the same and you just gain muscle mass.
So the first one is you feel great, you're doing the thing, you're dropping body fat and you're feeling awesome, right? Yeah. The second one is you're not actually gaining or losing weight, but your body composition is changing
in a positive way.
Yeah. And that can be a little bit tough because you're stepping on the scale and you're seeing like, hey, this really isn't changing. I'm doing all this work. However, what are some of the other, subjective things and objective things they might be seeing or
body
feeling?
Body fat percentage is dropping.
You're seeing you're seeing some measurements or some data, some data change. You're also seeing or feeling like your clothes are fitting differently. Your energy is up. You are more fidgety during the day, right?
Have more, kind of vitality and
things are like you're going to bed at night and you're falling asleep and you're waking up in the morning and you're getting your day started and you're feeling a little bit charged up. Those are all things that are good things that are happening on this reverse diet process as you're starting to put more calories back in the system. And then the third one you said was we're gaining muscle. We're not really losing fat yet.
Yeah.
And the key word there being yet. It's just where we are in the process.
And I think that's a excellent foray into, okay, this is the process by which we are speeding up our metabolism or restarting our metabolism. But what is actually happening is that as we are kind of refeeding and we are recovering, hopefully we are also exercising, and now our body is responding in a more positive way to that exercise. We are building muscle mass. That is what I always try to focus on.
Regulating the anabolic signals.
Exactly. So we are, someone who's in a recovery diet. I'm like, okay, you're probably not going to lose weight. Maybe you will, but you might not, and you might actually gain weight. If this is, most people are like, I didn't come to see you to gain weight. I came to see you to lose weight.
No, I hear you. I heard what you said. Yeah. But you're wrong, because what you said was you want to lose body fat, right? We defined that when we started. And the only way for you to be able to do that in a healthy and a sustainable way is for you to gain some muscle first. And that means you're probably going to gain some weight.
Yep.
That's the conversation so tough to have.
Yeah, which can be a difficult conversation
to have. It needs to be set up at the beginning. It needs to be very, very clear at the beginning.
Yeah, these are the expectations for this process. But this recovery diet process, what I'd like you to try to focus on, instead of being so fixated on the scale or losing body fat, is building muscle. Because how do we increase our resting metabolic rate? Unless you're going to grow, unless you're going to become larger, building muscle mass is how we increase our resting metabolic rate. And that is how we increase the amount of calories we are burning at rest. And that is what speeding up your metabolism is.
Yeah, what's interesting, there's a few other things that kind of happen as this process is happening, correctly. And that is you're starting to put in, and we talked about this being a little bit more of a conservative process. Maybe we're adding in, another 50 to 150 calories a week kind of thing. And it's picking up. And for some people that can be a lot. Like they're freaking out. Like 50 calories is not a lot of calories, but when you start to get into like the 150 or maybe 200 calories on a weekly, kind of a weekly ad, that ends up being quite a bit of calories for people kind of cumulatively. And they have a really bit of a tough time with it. And part of the thing that they have is like, God, it seems like so much food. And it's like they're literally having a tough time getting it in. Like, it's like, man, I just feel full all the time.
I don't want to eat anymore. Yeah.